Hey.
Hey fam, it is
Sam.
and Bibi, and we're doing a sit-down video.
Are we? Where have you been, girl?
It's been a while. So this one we're doing in between the regular vlogs where Sam and I sit down and discuss some topics related to marriage.
Yeah.
And so, like I've mentioned before, this video series about marriage is one that I want to make sure I've got hubby with me as well, because I want to get a male perspective. And the whole series is really discussing marriage as Christians, because the idea is to discuss topics through a biblical lens.
Yep.
So welcome back to the channel, and if you're new around here, you are welcome. And today we're covering a topic about marriage.
Drum roll, please.
I can't do drum roll. Marriage and
the in-laws. Hot topic.
It's quite a hot topic. So this video, I think, is applicable to like all holiday periods. You can use it, especially if like you're American. I know have some American viewers as well. And what are the other holidays?
Independence Day, Thanksgiving, Black Friday. No, that's not a real one.
So a little bit of background. Sam and I have been married
6 years. Yeah. 6. Can you believe it? Survived.
Got 3 babies. We're not babies anymore. We've got 3 little children. And in terms of our wedding, we had a pretty big wedding, right?
Yeah, big. Officially 500.
Officially.
Yeah. Unofficially more. And most of them were like family, extended family. You know, there wasn't like a massive allocation for friends. So, you know, we're really a big family. Also, we call our in-laws mommy and daddy. And
I think that reflects even our relationship as well. That I really do see your parents as my mum and dad, and vice versa. It's funny because I guess you could say that's culture, but then we see also in like the Nollywood movies where they portray like the mother-in-law as like the monster-in-law, and there's always conflict between them. But I'm glad to say we actually do have a really healthy relationship with each other's in-laws, or in-loves as we call each other.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even say that's luck, because a lot of people on the vlogs comment like how lucky we are to have such a good relationship. One thing I'll say is my parents prayed a lot for me to have a good relationship with my in-laws, and I'm seeing the fruit of that now. I'm really grateful. But also we're pretty intentional, right?
Yeah, we are. I mean, me personally, like when we're getting into it, like after the love and all that, I prayed as well. Like I prayed so deeply. I was like, Lord, you know, this family I'm going into, please let there be at least one Arsenal fan, you know, because if there wasn't, Lord, like, how would I do it? 3, 4, 5 decades with the in-laws and no Arsenal, like.
My dad's an Arsenal fan, so
yeah, so that
like,
was it. That was like
this.
Fixed everything. Happy days, you know. Happy days. We're all good.
So this video will hopefully give you the tips and the thought process that we use. Particularly, like I said, this is more focused on the holiday period where we kind of have more of an active, I'm going to say, game plan or thought process, just to hopefully make things go a lot more smoothly.
Yeah. The tempers can flare up,
exactly,
you know, in the holiday period.
Because you're spending a lot more time together. And I would also say as well, in terms of the tips, I mentioned this one, but the main tip I would say, especially if you're not married yet, is doing this beforehand. So I know a lot of engaged couples or those who are hoping to be married watch these videos, and that really excites me that, you know, you're thinking forward about being prepared for marriage, not just for the wedding day. And that's something we did as well. This topic came up in our marriage counseling or marriage preparation. So we covered money, all the big topics, and money, sex, all that kind of stuff. But we also covered the in-laws. I remember when that was brought up, I'll be real, I just was like, we're so in love.
They'll just get it. Like, our love was spread to them. Like, what's the big deal?
Remember their advice, and they used to be like, it can cause conflict. And we definitely took that advice. It was just something in the back of our mind. So when we did get married, and I was like, oh, this is what people mean about it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
We're a little bit more prepared. Fair enough, we did make mistakes, and we're going to share with you our mistakes as well. But I think that helped us be a little bit more prepared on having a lot more of a healthy and positive relationship with our in-laws.
Right, so let's get into the tips.
Let's go. Okay, before we get into the tips, I do want to say a massive thank you, because we just realised this channel has hit 10,000 subscribers.
Wow, well done, baby.
Oh, thanks, love. And, you know, it just means the world to me. I'm very humble. I'm very grateful to each and every one of you who subscribe. And even if it's just for the one, I just hope this channel is a source of encouragement. So I do want to do more giveaways later, but one giveaway I'm doing with Channel Mum at the moment, which I'd love for you guys to enter, I would love to know if one of my subscribers won, is like a holiday period giveaway, which runs all the way into the new year as well, and some other giveaways as well. I'll put all the links down below on how you can enter that. So tip number 1, so quick. Remember, you are married into family.
Family.
So your in-laws aren't just your spouse's parents, they are family. And I really think that's an important shift to make. And so things that we've done in order to help us do that is just remembering to initiate phone calls, calling on birthdays, remembering important dates, even anniversaries. I'd call your parents on their anniversary and vice versa. And even over the holiday period, just remembering gifts as well, just really making them feel special.
Yeah, and I really like what you do because, you know, like when we go out or just randomly, you're always like, oh, I haven't called your mom. How long has it been since I called your mom, you know? At date night, I'll be like, where are the wings at? Let's get the drinks going, the menu, you know, and you're always on top of that. Oh, it's her birthday coming up soon. And, you know, I really appreciate that, building that, making that effort to build up a relationship with, you know, with my parents, my mom particularly, you know, which then makes things kind of easier.
And you do the same thing as well. You call my parents and they really appreciate that, even if it's just to say hi. And I think doing that, you know, outside holiday periods just means when we meet up together, it's less of a, oh, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Like, we've got to do this again. And grit our
survival.
with this person I don't even talk to that much. And more of a, you know, we speak all the time. It's great to see you. And it builds up that more natural joy and, I guess, smoother relationship when the holiday periods do come and you're now spending time together because you've been, you know, keeping up that relationship over phone calls or some way of communicating in between the holiday periods. All right, so the next point is to develop code words. So important. You want to share?
Yeah, so when you get married, your priority is your spouse. You know, before you were married, your allegiance would be to your parents. You know, like me, I was always a mama's boy. There was, I think a couple of years ago, it was a Christmas party at my parents. And, you know, like my parents are like, you know what Nigerians are like, there's no bad foods. You eat everything. A lot of rich foods, sweets, everything.
Oily and sweet food.
Yeah, and we're quite, you know, intentional about what the kids are eating. Yes.
So I guess that was the time where your parents just thought, oh, it's fine. It's, you know, it's the holiday. I'm telling the mum, oh, I don't really want them having any more sugar. I don't really want them eating this. And then his mum might be like, it's fine. Let them have it. It's the holidays. Let them have it. I'd be like, no, I really don't want them having it, mummy. I really don't want. There's only so much you can say before you become that daughter-in-law that's like, get off my kids. Stop doing this to my children. So if your husband hasn't noticed yet you're getting upset, I'll just be like, babe, flamingo. That's not our word, but to show you how random it is. And then he'll be...
the mother-in-law will be like, flamingo, nonsense, flamingo. At which point, step in, kind of ease the tension, say, Mom, this is what we have agreed, you know, not this is what my wife wants, this is what we have agreed, and, you know, we'd rather that the children didn't have that. And, you know, most times it wouldn't be an issue coming from you. So that is very important. You stay united, you know, with your spouse, and also, you know, you ease tensions with the in-laws.
I think one thing that causes conflict is when one spouse feels like they're being ganged up against, when the other spouse takes the side of their relative. So the next point is, oh, are you drinking your tea? I'm drinking my tea. You go back
to tea.
Is about, oh, we're doing cheers. You're so funny. Is about recognizing each other's upbringing, right? So that's really, really important. And the way I describe that as in our situation is, in terms of our upbringing, in terms of the roles of men and women in the home and what each of us did, it's funny, it was actually quite similar. So in my family, my dad, he didn't really do much at home domestically. So even simple things like when we ate dinner, my dad would just stay there while we cleared the table. My mum cleared the table, and you also your mum did most of the cooking, the cleaning, the housework. It's just the way they did it. But we decided that we would do things different, and we we share a lot of roles. I mean, I'm still mainly in charge of
We
the home.
decided. Man had no choice, innit? No, yeah, we decided that. We came to an agreement on it.
I think maybe Sam does most of the cooking because he's actually a much better cook than me. Even though I'm still very much the keeper of the home and managing it. But
And you do a fantastic job, baby.
Thanks, love. But we've set our own kind of decision and standard on how we manage our home. So when it's a holiday period, now you're spending a lot of time at each other's house. So for example, if I go to your parents' house, this is my in-law, and the first time we were all standing up and Sam stood up to grab the plate, his mum was like, no, sit down, so you sit down. Because at first I was like, oh no, Sam likes to help. I saw his mum's face like, no, he always sits down with his dad and they talk and the men sit at the table. And so that could easily be conflict for me. I could blow it up. It's not such a big deal, to be honest. You find out things that you're willing to compromise on, realize that's something that's important to her, and that's part of the way they were brought up. So it's that kind of thing, just respecting each other's upbringing, the way they do things at home, as long as it doesn't really cross or compromise your boundaries that much. And just make sure when you go home, you do things the way you normally do.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to say, oh, what's the big deal? This is how we do things. But I think it can be quite sensitive, especially to the in-laws. You know, this is how they like things done in their home, what they're comfortable with. So it's good for us to be flexible. But if I ever get used to that and try that for one day in our home,
just come home and leave his plate on the table and go.
This seat will be blank for the rest of this, rest of the videos.
And next would be work towards balance and fairness. Yeah. So what that means is try and aim towards when you're planning the day. I do say plan. You can't just wait for the holiday season to arrive and say, where are we going to go for dinner? Whose house are we going to go to? I think a lot of forethought has to go into this, and even speaking to your in-laws and obviously each other's family and thinking what time are they going to eat. I say this because there was definitely one year we kind of made a lot of assumptions, and we went to, I guess, my mum's house first, and we ate, and they put on a whole massive meal, and by the time we went to your parents' house,
we were stuffed,
retired, and I feel like your parents were, you could tell that they weren't too happy with that.
Because my mum had gone through so much effort, so
to cook and everything. There's only so much we can eat. So even if we thought ahead, maybe we wouldn't have eaten so much at my mum's house. Little things like, doing maybe Christmas at one person's house and Boxing Day at another, or Christmas and New Year's or Thanksgiving one year and switching it around each year. At the end of the day, you're planning ahead and you're aiming for fairness, and you let them know in advance, okay, we're going to spend this time with you between X and Y time, and then, you're going to your other in-laws or other family house as well.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, next point is to set aside difficult topics.
Yeah, definitely stay clear of potentially divisive topics like politics,
touchy areas.
Yeah, or even sports. I think you should kind of have some feel about what your in-laws are particularly touchy about. And this is a really good one where you can have your code words or the glances again, like if your spouse is like
going into muddy waters with your in-laws.
You're going too far. It's beyond your depth. You give them a look or have the code word.
Flamingo!
Yeah, exactly. And, kind of help them step back on that. Also, the holidays and Christmas should not be used as a time for confrontation. Like, if you've got something on your heart that you want to express, really shouldn't be done during the Christmas times.
Something negative. Obviously, there's exceptions, but I think for the most part, it's not the time to think, oh, now they're here and I've got an audience. I can really just say some really hurtful things that have been on my mind. Just remember, these holiday seasons are meant to be a positive time, so the opportunity to celebrate the purpose, the reason for the season. So if there are any areas, try and discuss those privately or another time. I think sometimes things get heated, there's drinks, there's an audience, so try and be intentional about not mentioning things that could potentially escalate in those kind of scenarios. All right, next is to have, I guess I'd say, a gift-giving plan of action. Because let's be real, when it comes to gifts, even though we know it's better to give than to receive, gift-giving can get a little bit out of hand because most of us want a balance of both. So I guess for us, things that we've done in order to relieve conflict, and one I'd say between the both of us, is having a clear budget on how much we're going to spend on each family member. even having a plan of action on maybe giving a gift to a whole family versus individual children, because you know some of these families have like 2, 3, 4, 5 or more kids, and then you know it can start creating conflict on you guys. How much you're going to spend on each of their kids? So again, aiming for fairness and balance. So because we have a budget, we've clear how much we allocate to each family, including each other's in-laws, so we can feel as well that we're kind of showing respect to each other's family as well by being fair on the gifts we give, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'd say the final point is just to remember to give grace.
Yeah. Like the stereotypical portrayal of, you know, a harmonious family, everyone all together, roasting chestnuts by the fireplace. You know, that is pretty much a rarity. You know, nobody's perfect. There are no perfect families. There's a lot of stuff in social media, hashtag goals, that kind of stuff. You know, there's this false expectation that my family's perfect, we can do this kind of
thing.
And
that's probably why you get a lot of conflict, because you have this idea that the holidays have to be perfect, because you see all these pictures of everyone in their matching holiday outfits and doing perfect holiday activities, and that can create conflict in your heart.
Because you want that
that kind of thing.
But the truth is that we're all broken. You know, we're all sinners, we're fallen creatures, and we all need to experience the unconditional love of Christ. You know, which is that. It's so important.
And people are going to disappoint you because of that. And just remember, you're going to disappoint other people as well in your family. With family, it isn't always as perfect as we would like, especially over the holiday season. Lots of different personalities, lots of time together. And so just remember, it can be messy, it's beautiful, but it's beautiful work. And I'd say healing is only going to be able to begin, if things go wrong, when we're able to ask forgiveness and we grant forgiveness too. But bitterness grows when we don't. Yeah,
so it's so important that we're quick to forgive, you know, and then resist the temptation of keeping a list of wrongs. You know, like, they said this to me, I didn't like this, your parents said that, your brother or sister said this kind of thing. It's really tempting to do that. And, you know, as the holiday periods approach, we just need to pray. I think that's so important. Pray for our time together.
Because I think the enemy's really after family and uses these opportunities, which are not even about ourselves, to just cause us to have selfish conflict.
Over, you know, things that can be really small and be blown out of proportion. So it's very important that during the holiday periods, we need to focus on being a grace granter.
Definitely.
You know, because after all, Christmas is all about the grace that we receive freely through Jesus Christ.
That's true. Someday. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and it provided some useful tips and encouragement on how to handle family and the in-laws, especially this holiday season. And please be sure to like,
share.
Oh, well done, babe. Share, comment. We do read all of them.
Subscribe.
And we'll see you in our next video. Bye.
Bye.